Welcome back as we next learn how to assess a reading over 1 millimeter. We return to our demonstration. Let's look at the auxiliary gauge on the dial face. On this particular model, you'll notice that it shows numbers marked from 0 through 9 and to 0. These numbers represent the instrument's range of 10 whole millimeters. When the plunger is fully extended, the auxiliary pointer rests at a position just a little off 0. As the plunger is depressed, the auxiliary pointer rotates in an anti-clockwise direction, passing the whole millimeter graduations. When the plunger has been fully depressed, you'll notice that the auxiliary pointer stops after it has passed 0. At such a position, we have exceeded the range of the instrument. Let's set up the instrument and work through a typical reading example. The setup is made carefully and in such a way that the plunger is just making contact with the workpiece surface. You'll notice that the auxiliary gauge pointer has moved slightly. A light touch against the gauge results in movement of the main pointer. This also proves plunger contact. The bezel is now turned carefully to bring the 0 calibration directly in line with the pointer. Now let's thread out our screw and watch both pointers. As the main pointer approaches 0 or 1 millimeter, you can see that the auxiliary pointer has also reached 1 millimeter. Further turning rotates the main pointer and the auxiliary pointer, and now we have reached a second main pointer rotation to 0. And, as you can see, the auxiliary pointer now indicates 2 millimeters. In effect, the auxiliary pointer is keeping a record of how many full millimeters the main pointer has traveled around the gauge. Now let's give our screw a random turn without looking at the dial face. What reading do we have? Let's study this. First, we see that the auxiliary pointer has gone well past 2 millimeters, but has not yet reached 3 millimeters, which means that our total reading must be 2 whole millimeters plus the main pointer reading. As you can see, the main pointer reads 55, which is 55 millimeters. Therefore, our final reading of plunger travel is 2,55 millimeters. Let's do one more example. What is the total reading on the instrument now? The auxiliary gauge shows almost 4, but you can see the main pointer hasn't quite reached 0, so it's a little under 4 millimeters. As the main pointer is on 98, or 98, our total reading is therefore 3,98 millimeters. Let's break now, as you get in a little reading practice.